the field, but a confetti welcome from the Saints fans on the Kop. And I haven't seen these stands at Salford filled to capacity like this for many, many years. And we'll certainly have a roar now as these Salford lads approach the pitch. Led out by Welsh skipper David Young. Just listen to that noise and appreciation from the fans, I think, not only for the season so far, first division champions, but for that dramatic win over the cup holders. Former Saints stars Mark Lee and Paul Forward adding a little spice to the Salford line-out, but look out for Reds young wing pair McAvoy and Naylor. Over half of the back division tries have come courtesy of that right wing partnership. St Helens coach Sean McRae hands the number 10 jersey to teenage Latham, and a tough task for him, but no lack of experience in the three-quarter line. 77 tries already this season. 4 substitutes there, and a bit of a gamble there with the Welshman Richard Webster, out since Christmas with the broken thumb. David Young, the Welsh captain in the World Cup, and ever present in the Salford team this season. Very powerful front rower. And Bobby Goulding, over 650 points in 2 seasons at St Helens. St Helens midfield maestro. David Campbell, the referee, in charge in the centre there. He was in charge 2 weeks ago against Wigan. And the young mascot, Russ Chatwin. What a day for him. Tells me his favourite player is Sam Panapa, the Salford loose forward. Hardly a breath of wind here, not really much to choose from. Teams look to be staying as they are, with Salford to play from the right of our screens in the traditional red jerseys. Salford Reds, as they are known as today. St Helens in the strip which they wore 100 years ago, the blue and white stripes. So the 1996 giant killers Salford versus the Challenge Cup favourites and 5 times winners St Helens. An exciting 80 minutes in prospect, and I have alongside me Steve Sims and Joe Lydon, the assistant Wigan coach, who watched those highlights. Joe, I must say, with your hands over your eyes, what do you think today?
Well, Ray, we have had the autopsy at Wigan after that defeat at the hands of Salford here. We've also had many people giving their opinions of just how and why we lost it. But at the end of the day, Salford deserved the win. They played better than Wigan did and came away thorough victors. I'm sure there'll be a very titanic struggle again today.
Salford then in possession, just allowing the forwards to find their feet. And Steve, you at Halifax playing Leeds tomorrow. This is a very, very interesting time for you.
It is. It's going to be a tough game tomorrow. 2 good teams, Halifax and Leeds, both wanting to get to Wembley, and it's going to be a real solid clash tomorrow.
Anthony Sullivan. Saints turn now to give 1 or 2 of the forwards a dash. Andy Northey at number 13, signed as a centre from north of England and Waterloo Rugby Union. And Simon Booth again, one of Saints forwards, a centre. Chris Joynes. And St Helens coach Sean McRae looking for a powerful game from that Great Britain second row. The pitch in very, very good condition. Nice little chip by Goulding. Oh, he has got the ball. A beautiful pass out. Gibbs to Hayes in the corner. Oh, that is a sensational try. Superb rugby from St Helens. It stunned the Salford defence, and Joey Hayes, just recovered from a hamstring problem, just managed to dive in at the corner. Masterly play by Goulding. He broke up that tightly packed defence, and here's the try.
Bobby Goulding at his best here. Great little chip kick. Sees there's no cover defence there. 2 players around him. Still offloads to Northey. Then Gibbs. Then straight out to Joey Hayes, who scores in the corner.
This is a confidence come out at the top of his game. The chip early on in the game, most people would have looked to put the pass in or the long kick into the corner. Not Bobby Goulding. Regathers the ball, finds Scott Gibbs on the outside as the defence is drawn in, and then the pass to Joey Hayes, who just squeezes into the corner. Great try and a fantastic start for St Helens.
Well, I'm sure skills like that are worth the admission money alone here at the Willows. A tremendous piece of rugby. Not only did Goulding catch that ball, but he also had the sense to put the pass out. Goulding then with the kick on the touch line. Oh, he hasn't got the direction, just floats across the face of the post there. But I think he'll certainly be happy with that scoreline at the moment. 4-0 for St Helens.
Once again we see Bobby Goulding, a little chip. Steve Hampson, the Salford fullback, was fully expecting a longer kick. And then when the defence was drawn in to take Goulding, having regathered, the ball out wide to the wing and a try.
In fact, Joe, in the Salford-Wigan game, Salford employed a lot of those chip kicks and rubber kicks in an attempt to break up your defence.
That's right, and Wigan also tried it with Salford, and on the occasions when Wigan tried it, Salford were quick to gather the ball. That time they were slow to get there, and it resulted in a try and a great start for St Helens.
Salford props driving in there, number 10, Cliff Eccles, and the other man, the captain, David Young, making good ground. Edwards to Blakely, Mark Lee, bringing Paul Forward in, former St Helens player, who actually played in the St Helens pack the last time St Helens were defeated here 8 years ago. Blakely, a well-intended kick, but well picked up by Sullivan. Sullivan nicely positioned there.
You'll notice there, St Helens, their defence, they're moving up very quick and forcing Salford to rush things a little bit there. Salford, they could probably use a little chip kick a little bit more to try to get the St Helens on the back foot in defence.
St Helens coach Sean McRae done a lot of work on defence since he arrived from the Canberra Raiders in Australia. No problems with their attack. 116 points in the 2 previous rounds.
That defensive line of St Helens, you watch when Salford get the ball, seems to be very, very compressed. They're not trying to make Salford force the pass out wide.
That's the handover. St Helens electing to run there on the 6th tackle, but certainly they are keeping Salford penned down here. St Helens made favourites for this Challenge Cup after Wigan's exit, and Salford still a good bet, I think, at 10-1. Young. Blakely just trying to work the run around with Mark Lee, leading well to get that ball away again. Eccles. Good tackle by Perolini. Blakely. Oh, that's a good pass out there to McAvoy. Salford on the attack, well taken there. That was very well taken, but the flag is up. No further progress allowed. Paul Hewitt, the touch judge, on the spot, on hand. But that was good play again by Salford down that right.
You'll see it's good vision from Blakely here. St Helens are moving up very fast, but they're very compressed. And they got on the outside of him. It was a good ball there inside the nailer, who just couldn't keep the ball in field, and he's been taken into the touch from St Helens. But that'll certainly lift Salford.
St Helens with the bigger pack, that might tell in the second half in the midfield. But Goulding did well to get across there as well, Joe, acting in the role of a sweeper.
It's not only in attack Bobby Goulding's presence felt, but also in defence, sweeping across the back line just to cover any gaps. That long post pass, and he was there to cover it, Bobby.
St Helens certainly got plenty of pace in this pack. There's an example, Chris Joint trying to go through. As I said, Northern Booth, former three-quarters, and very few hookers quicker than this man, Cunningham. Penalty there.
Yeah, Cunningham decides to run the defence with the ball rather than pass, and he just caught there for a high tackle by the Salford player. I think it's the right decision.
Yeah, Dave Young comes in here. He puts the shoulder in and swings the arm around the back of Kieran Cunningham's head.
Nathan, one of the many youngsters at Nosey Road, making their way towards the first team now. Perolini. big, powerful Western Samoan, played in the Rugby Union and Rugby League World Cups. Joint just lost his footing. But the pressure still on Salford, and Goulding swinging that ball along. Good run by Simon Booth. He timed his entry nicely there. Nice to see a second row running from deep. On the fifth tackle, the pitch is very, very heavy down there. Problems for the players. Goulding with that little shot. Oh, well stopped. Well stopped by Darren Rogers. Scott Martin. Very difficult to get out of that corner, Joe. It is very, very heavy down there.
It is. Salford warmed up in that particular area just before the start of the game, and it has cut up slightly. It's a greasy surface, and I'm sure St Helens will be looked to pin Salford in that particular area.
Salford then trailing by 4 points to 0. Peter Edwards, an acting half-back to Savelio, the Western Samoan forward. He's lost the ball, but referee judging that Apollo Perolini was ball stealing.
You'll have a look here. Apollo Perolini there, number 8. Well, there's a hand in there. You can't tell, but the referee was on the spot and he's made the decision. You'll notice at this stage Salford is attacking St Helens' left-hand side a lot. They must trying to run at New Love, probably tiring out a little bit with a lot of defence.
And using these props to good effect, Young and now Eccles, and gaining plenty of ground in midfield.
There's a big point that Steve made there. Salford have obviously looked at Paul Newlove as being one of the major attacking weapons that St Helens possess, and they decided if they can run at him constantly for the first 40 minutes and tear him out, maybe he won't be so effective when he has the ball.
Oh, that's a good kick for Lee. There's plenty of space there. Just a little too hard, but that was well intended. It caught Saints fullback Prescott out there. He was a little too in midfield, but Gibbs running well there in the middle. Scott Gibbs, former Swansea player. Newlove in fine form this season. Chris Joints. £500,000 he cost from Bradford Bulls. Goulding. Oh, that was a good tackle by Paul Forber there. He saw Goulding ducking down. Forber went low. Carl Hammond. Not the best of passes, but well picked up. Gibbs. Saints passing a little flat there, and that is why Prescott kicked that ball. It's a good kick. It puts McAvoy on the back foot. Well spotted there by Prescott. Saints actually were putting pressure on themselves. They were passing rather flat, and a good kick.
Yeah, you see Prescott under pressure, puts the kick in. Now Anthony Sullivan, he had no chance because the referee's already called that he was in front of the kicker. If he had to come into play, there would have been a penalty to Salford.
Salford, the champions of the first division, raced away with that division at the end of the season, ending 7 points clear. Forber. 11 seasons at St Helens, Paul Forber. Nichols. Salford making good ground, Joe, with these forwards in midfield.
Yes, they work very, very well. They're a strong pack, and they seem to tire their opposition out before they start using the backs out wider. But St Helens have made an excellent start as well. I'm sure if there's any points in a home advantage, it's been quashed by St Helens' early try.
And we can see why St Helens are 4 points in the lead, Steve.
Yeah, they've certainly had all the territory at this stage. But Mark Lee then, a smart kick from Mark under pressure. He was thinking of offloading out to his left-hand side. Soon St Helens moved up very quick, and then under pressure put a kick in, and now they're deep into St Helens territory, hoping that they can force an error.
Referee, Mr. Campbell, just asking the two packs to hold there. And a good scrummage. Using Northey very well down this blind side. Simon Booth. Again, one second row who, if he can get through a gap, has plenty of pace. A former centre when he was with Leeds, but a knock-on. And momentary lapse there from the St Helens second row, and you can't afford this in a Challenge Cup tie.
No, that's what I was saying before. Salford, great kick downfield, hoping that St Helens would come up with the error, and that's the error Salford were looking for. Big chance for Salford to attack now.
Blakely bringing Martin and Naylor. Steve Prescott again, Saints fullback, coming well in the line there, spotting the danger. Back to Lee. Martin again, but the gap closed. And offside. Mr Campbell playing advantage initially, but no advantage accruing to Salford. So the first chance of some points for the Reds. And many of these drums sold by the commercial department here at the Willows, and they certainly make a din, especially when the Reds score.
The play previous from the scrum, Salford put on a good cross move there. As Blakely come back with the football, Steve Hampson was in a real big hole there, and then Blakely just couldn't get the ball to him. If he hadn't been able to offload to Hampson, Hampson would have definitely scored.
Steve Blakely's 5 goals against Wigan, proving the difference in the previous round. The top point scorer for the past 2 seasons, and he's on good form. Another 2 points from Blakely. Well struck, no problems. So St Helens see that lead reduced. 4 points to 2 now.
It's 2 points for Salford as well. It was made by percentage football. It kept St Helens pinned down, first with a long kick and then forced the error from the scrum. Resulting penalty from that scrum. 2 points to Salford.
And an excellent strike from this man Blakely. Top point scorer over the past 2 seasons here at the Willows. And Andy Gregory, well, he knows what cup rugby is all about. Many times at Wembley with Wigan. Well, we've been playing nearly 15 minutes. Any news down there on the bench for us, Richard?
Yes, Ray, the Salford coach Andy Gregory admits that St Helens had an outstanding first 10 minutes. He thinks there's nothing much they can do about that, but he thinks that maybe they've weathered the worst of it. And he's told the team that their tackling is going to be sharper and play more in the St Helens half if possible.
Well, a good chance there for Joey Hayes. Well recovered there by Rodgers. I think he's right there, Andy Gregory, Joe. Saints have had a wonderful 15 minutes, but there's only 2 points difference, isn't there?
There's only 2 points difference, but you can bet that St Helens will try to carry on with that pressure and the way they've been playing. Salford, as Andy said, have got to hang on now, dig in, particularly with the tackling, and try and get some points on the board.
Salford then trying to edge away from that 20-minute area. Sam Parappa, a good run there from the loose forward. He has had ankle ligament damage for the past couple of weeks. Paul Former launching Naylor, but well held there by Perolini. Salford have 1 or 2 options here with the kicker, this time Blakely. And again, it's down Salford's right wing all the time, Steve.
Yeah, I'm sure that they're trying to put a lot of pressure on Newlove, especially to make him work hard, which they have done. He's probably made 5 or 6 tackles so far, Newlove.
Bear in mind, if you cost £500,000, Steve, you should work hard, shouldn't you?
Exactly right, and Salford is certainly going to make him earn his money today.
But it's Saints in possession then. Cunningham coming away well. Good run there from the hooker to Booth. Just lacking the support. And Paul Newlove just taking a breather there. Cunningham again. Could be one of the major influences in this game, this young hooker, John.
Yeah, the speed in particular. He's able to get away from the markers and scoot 10 yards almost at will.
Andy Nordy there coming through that gap on the pit tackle, but a penalty against Paul Former for lying on at the play the ball, and it's the sin bin. Well, Paul says, you what for, but no point protesting. Mr Campbell has made his decision. the next 10 minutes could prove very crucial. Salford down to 12 men.
Well, some people might think this is a little harsh on Paul Forber, the Salford second row forward. He was penalised there for holding down, sent to the sin bin. The referee decided to stamp his authority on it.
I must confess it did look a little harsh, didn't it?
Yeah, just looking at it though, he was on the ground, the player was trying to get up to play the football, and Paul Forber did pull his foot back out from underneath him to pull him back to the ground, which it has come out over the last couple of months constantly that if you interfere with a player, pulling his leg up off the ground after he's trying to get up, it is a penalty.
This is referees just trying to speed the game up and make it more respectful.
Goulding then looking to restore that margin with this penalty, and he does. The flags go high. Well struck there by Bobby Goulding, much to the delight of the many St Helens youngsters. 6-2 now for the Saints.
It's only 2 points for that penalty, but the next 10 minutes with Paul Forber off the field may be the crucial time period for Salford.
We can expect St Helens then to move it to Hayes and Sullivan.
I think they'll look to get it wider. Yes, they'll have to play the power game first, but when you've got people like Bobby Goulding in control of the reins, he'll be looking to get it wider and exploit the gaps.
Darren Rodgers, and just look at that percentage there now. That tells the tale, Steve. 62 for Salford.
Yeah, they've held the ball good. They've controlled it good. Their kicking game's been up to scratch, up to the good stand at this stage. And as we said before, they keep working to St Helens' left-hand side. They're trying to put a lot of pressure on Newlove and Sullivan.
It would be interesting to match those statistics with the possession and territory, because I'm sure that although Salford have had a lot of ball, they've not really gone across the halfway line much, and it's resulted in kicks. That's the only time that they've managed to get down in the St Helens half.
Lee switching to Blakely. Blakely switches again to Steve Hampson. Steve Hampson's first intrusion there. And what a contrast with the territorial advantage there. 63% from St Helens.
Listen.
Mark Lee, a very canny little footballer, just pushes it down to the touch there. Keeps Salford momentum going forward. Puts Saints on the back foot. Goulding to feed. Oh, and he plays the blind side. Cleverly done there by Bobby Goulding. Of course, he's got 20 metres to work in there now on that side. Paul Newlove coming away well. Just a good ankle tap there by Lee. Perolini. Saints looking for forwards to be there or thereabouts. Here is one. Oh, a good burst from Andy Norley. He's looking for Scott Gibbs. Back to Helens. Well, one or two Salford fans protesting. They felt he was a forward pass. Not so, says Mr. Campbell. Play on. Joint back inside to Newlove. On the fifth tackle. St Helens still looking to take advantage of that extra man. Back to Goulding. Oh, he just couldn't control the ball there. Well picked up by Hampson.
This period is crucial for Salford. The break they just made was where Paul Forber usually defends. On the side where Paul Forber defends. A great chip kick from Bobby Goulding there. He just couldn't get the other foot to it. Steve Hampson, it's cool under pressure, Steve, picks the ball up and saves the day for Salford.
Salford, Joe, will be looking to hold on to this ball, to go through the sequences of 6 tackles, to, let the time tick over until Forber returns.
It's a little bit of a race against the clock here. They've got to, as you say, retain possession, try and force St Helens back slightly, and then lose the long kick into the corners. They are a man down, and they're going to be tired, and they've got to cover some big gaps that will be out there.
No lack of excitement then, and certain tension here at the Willows as Lee tests Prescott again. And of course the Salford defenders there stopping on the 20-metre line. They mustn't encroach within 10 metres of the man who picks up the ball. Boo.
Yeah, some concern on the St Helens bench about Simon Booth, the St Helens forward. He took a bang in the face, looked like on his nose a few moments ago. Jeanette Smith, the physiotherapist, is watching him from the touchline, keeping a close eye on him. He's still in the game and probably clearing his head.
Goulding organising in midfield, trying to bring Apollo Perolini down the middle. He does. Perolini, oh, a tremendous run. He's going himself. The big, powerful Western Samoan, and he's over. Oh, a superb run. We mentioned about the pace of this St Helens pack, and there was a prop forward. He got the steam up, he got himself on the charge, and his 12th try of the season. I don't think anyone thought he would get to that line, but he certainly did.
Yeah, Bobby Goulding again, bringing people across, trying to pull people off the line. He finds Perlini on the inside. There is a gap there, and a couple of defenders from Salford just drop off, and it's left to a straight foot race between him and Steve Hampson. Steve does eventually get in, draw him back, but can't stop his momentum from going over the line.
Yeah, Bobby Goulding picks the second man to drop off this time, Perlini. Now Edwards has a go at him here, he misses him. Savilio, he's going to have a go, he also gets pushed off by Perlini. He's a powerful man, Apollo Perlini. He goes through, he can only see the line there, see Steve Hampson coming across. Steve, he gives it his best shot, Steve, but he can't stop Apollo Perlini and puts the ball down for a try. It's not what St Helens wanted now. Sorry, not what Salford wanted with a man down, but St Helens go that little bit further ahead.
Goulding then taking his time with this kick. The ball just not remaining steady on the support. £160,000 cost from Goulding, and Saints Alliance coach there, Brian Case, just obviously relaying messages from Sean McRae as to what he wants. But I know what he'll want here. He'll want 2 points from this conversion. Goulding then with the kick, no. Well, he struck the tee before he struck the ball, Joe, didn't he?
It wasn't a clean shot from Bobby there. They got the 4 points for the try, but he just failed on that occasion to convert and add an extra 2 points to it.
But a tremendous try and a tremendous effort here from Apollo Perlini. Sheer power as he thrusts himself into that space. And then a former flanker in rugby union, he has the pace, he has the legs to get to that line.
You see here, Apollo Perlini pushes off a fellow Western Samoan in Savilio, but you just see the determination of him. He's got a lot of pace for such a big man, and 4-pointer for St Helens.
Yeah, Apollo 11 Perlini, as we should name him, of course named after the famous space launch when man first set foot on the moon. Rogers. Cliff Eccles. Salford then trying to move this ball out wide now. Markley. Again, kicking for the first time down this near side touchline from our commentary position, but gaining good ground.
You see Mark Lee here, he kicks to the opposite side this time, kicks to his left-hand side, which may not be a bad ploy. Seeing Paul Forber usually defends this side and off, St Helens more than likely now will run it towards Salford's right-hand side.
Goulding finds Hammond, who sensibly holds onto that ball. The Salford defence moved in very, very well there. 2 or 3 men cutting off the ball going out wide.
And the substitution they're bringing on for Salford of Richard Webster was purely a tactical substitution. And the good news for Salford, really, I suppose, at this point, is that Paul Forber in the sin bin has got about 90 seconds left to serve.
Sullivan just pushed into touch, and Paul Forber just checking the watch. Players don't like to be sitting on that bench too long. And I think if Salford can just have conceded 1 try, well, they might be happy enough with that, Joe.
I don't think they'd be happy. They might be relieved that it wasn't 2. But Richard Webster's come on as substitutes there. Richard mentioned that it was purely tactical. I think the 10-minute sin bin of Paul Forber had a lot to do with that. He's realised that there are tired legs out there, and a fresh pair to relieve the pressure that St Helens are putting on will surely be crucial.
Salford, though, still trying to play attractive rugby, moving this ball around. They had the upper hand at the Willows with St Helens, especially in their last 2 league meetings here, winning quite convincingly. Plenty of time for Salford to haul themselves back in this game. Panapa to Lee. St Helens know the danger from this number 7. Very crafty player, and there is Paul Forber. Back to 13 then, Salford. Blakely. Lee decided he'll run it. Takes it to Rodgers. Good step inside there from Darren Rodgers, but that's the 6th tackle. And a handover. Offside. The speed of the play of the ball there, Steve, taking Salford by surprise.
Well, Salford just turned the ball straight over to St Helens. You give it to the St Helens player to let him get on with the game quickly. Salford should have tried to slow it down then and put the ball on the ground to make St Helens, slow it down that little bit for him.
And I think Joey Hayes knew what he was doing, because he shot away like a bullet from a gun, Joe.
It was very sharp and on foot and in thought there. He knew that if he could pick the ball up quickly and run to Salford marker, it was offside, he'd get the penalty and relieve that pressure that Salford applied.
St Helens switching play again, using Goulding. Trying to bring kicks on, he does do so. Powerful burst there by the Welshman. But it was Goulding's pass inside that did the damage. Saints now, from right to left. Hammond. Prescott. Salford defending desperately again. Goulding looks for a drop goal. No, veers away, no goal. So the score remaining the same, 10 points to 2, but worth a shot, Steve?
Yeah, it was worth a shot. You notice Goulding, he's running across field looking for his runners. The first break St Helens made was the first man, the first drop-off player. The second break they made was the second drop-off player. The last play then was the third drop-off player. So he's mixing his runners up, but he has got a lot of runners.
Good variety. Panapa. Well held there by Simon Boone. He looks to be recovered from that knock on the nose. Lee. Steve Hampson. But Saints defensively, Joe, are moving in very, very quickly.
They're very, very tight as well. They're compact from inside out, and then as Salford try and spread the ball, they just slide off the man and cover the gaps. And it's working very, very well.
On the 5th tackler, Lee with a nicely placed chip kick there. That's a rush for McAvoy. Oh, he still kicks that ball in. Excellently done. Lee again, back inside. McAvoy. Superb run with this. Peter Edwards going for the corner. And he's in at the corner. Oh, that was nastily kept in off the touchline by McAvoy. And Salford made something out of absolutely nothing there. Sleight of hand in midfield. Superb backing up, excellent anticipation, and Salford are back in this match with a bang.
This was 4 points try for Salford that was made purely by Salford refusing to let the ball die. They first of all didn't let it go out of bounds by McAvoy. The ball comes back inside, several people handle it, and right at the death, here we see Edwards grabs the ball, takes for the corner, head down and crashes over. Great Salford try.
You'll have a look here. Great little chip from Lee there. Now, the big error comes from Bobby Goulding here. He tries to think that the ball's going to go out of play, which it doesn't. He should have played at that ball to kill it dead. Now, Lee, good play, backs up, ball back inside. Now, Scott Naylor again, the hero from the Wigan game. He's going to offload again. Oh, backing up everywhere. Now, Peter Edwards, he can see the opportunity here. He's played in the backs before, Peter Edwards, before going to the hooking spot, and scores in the corner.
And these Salford fans are everywhere. They really are coming out of the attic.
I hope that's his house.
Steve Blakely then with a difficult shot, not a very secure footing underneath. And no goal. 10 points to 6 for St Helens. The support really behind the Reds. And as we can see here, that's the key to it all. Superbly kept in by McAvoy and any number of St Helens defenders, but the speed of the passing, the sleight of hand, and Edwards, once a fullback, comes in as a fullback would have done, head down, he's in at the corner.
You notice here, talking about getting your money's worth out of New Love, that's the second time most coaches and most teams have their big back rowers or loose forwards running the ball out from their goal line from kickoffs. St Helens, that's the second time New Love's run the ball out.
And Salford have definitely lifted their game now. The tempo of the play, especially in defence, they're really charging into these tackles.
And that try for Salford certainly put fresh heart in the Reds.
Massive hit there from the Salford defence, and again it's on Paul Newlove.
Certainly sent Newlove rocketing back, but here's young Cunningham there now. Good pass to Prescott. Prescott, well intended. Joey Hayes racing for it. Steve Hampson's there. Hampson got across well. Timed it superbly there, Steve Hampson. Very experienced fullback. Darren Rogers helping Salford there in defence. Giving time for his forwards to get back.
We talk about experienced fullbacks. I know one thing, the Salford team would feel nice and happy and relaxed with Steve Hampson behind him, because he's one of the safest fullbacks in the game.
5 Cup winners' medals with Wigan in his early days. Steve Hampson. And Salford really showing their mettle now. Lee just couldn't get the pass away, but Salford trying to retrieve it, but no. The handover to the Saints.
Mark Lewis, a bad error here as the last tackle. He should have kicked the football. Instead of that, he's turned the ball over on halfway. Salford should have been in St Helens' 20-metre area now.
Both sides, Joe, have been tremendously inventive, and yet the defences have been absolutely on top, haven't they?
It's been a Super Cup tie. It's everything we expected. There's been the aggression, controlled, and there's also been the skill level, which has been very, very high.
There is a little of that aggression. Mr Campbell just having a word, the two of them. Perolini again, charging in, just outside that Salford 20-metre line. Goulding. Again, trying a little kick, but well picked up by Palaper. Slip to Hampson. There's a confidence running through the Salford ranks at the moment. But still, St Helens leading by 10 points to 6. Mr Campbell making for a good game, getting the players right back the full 10 metres. Richard Webster, perhaps somewhat of a gamble. Webster, the big Welshman, has been out for 6 to 8 weeks, and an enormous number of tackles in this early stage.
That's right. A good tackling as well. It's been good defence. There have been a few breaks, mainly from St Helens, that have been made because Bobby Goulding has run across and used his drop-off runners, but on the whole, defence has been on top with both sides.
Lately. And all credit, I think, Steve, to the handling. You know, we've had very, very few knock-ons.
No, both teams have handled the ball superbly. It's been a great, entertaining game, and at this stage, it's very evenly matched.
And in Ori. And there is an example of the skill factor in the handling today. Just one error.
This is a vital part of the game. The last 5 minutes before half-time, we know what happens. There's usually a try scored, so both teams will have to be on their guard to prevent that.
Joey Hayes! Oh, he had a clear field! Hampson came across well! Scott Gibbs! He's a powerful centre, but forward in well to get across there to Holding. Salford racing back desperately here. Goulding knows the space out wide. Hammond brings it to Joint. Oh, Leighton did well to hold that. On the fifth tackle, will Goulding go for a drop? Hammond puts the little chip kick through, but it's well covered. I thought St Helens wasted the opportunity there.
Well, I was amazed, actually. Joey Hayes with Steve Hampson to beat. I know Steve is a safe fullback, but usually he can be outpaced with somebody of Joey Hayes' pace. I think he might have actually damaged a hamstring, Joey Hayes, on that run.
I was surprised that St Helens never kept moving the ball to the left, because they had plenty of numbers out there, and they had the inside runner come back inside.
Well, Joey Hayes has been troubled with a hamstring. This is his first game back. He cut inside and he hesitated a little. But he's had a superb season. But it's Saints still pressing here as we come to this half-time. Cunningham to Northey. Just 8 metres there now from that Salford line. Goulding again trying to bring these runners off. Having a go himself, but well looked after by Mark Lee. Good tackle by the Salford scrum half. Hammond, switch, good ball to Sullivan. He just can't get there. Excellent tackle by McAvoy. Help coming from Panaper. Still Saints put the pressure on. Scott Martin's there, but he's pushed behind. No relief. A drop out beneath the post. Well, this really is a silk cut Challenge Cup tie. No quarter asked, no quarter given. People trying things, inventive rugby, and plenty of courage. Leatham, just 19 years of age, but already making a name for himself in the Saints front row.
This is going to be a big test for Salford right here. It's the third set of 6 tackles St Helens had inside their 22, and it's nearly half-time. They need to defend with everything they've got now.
Hammond looks for support. He finds Joint. Joint can't get that ball away. But as Steve said, Salford have been on this line for over a dozen tackles. Hammond again. Gets it back inside to Newland. Oh, just held there by Scott Naylor. Good play there by Naylor. And the 5th tackle. Still this Salford defence holds out. Back to Bobby Goulding. Goulding tries another one of those high kicks. Rogers is underneath it. He's lost it. Perolini's got the ball. Perolini gets that ball to Gibbs. Gibbs is into the corner. Oh, and it was a mistake in the end by Salford. They couldn't hold the ball. St Helens taking advantage of it. But that pressure simply had to tell. The ball transferred to Scott Gibbs, and Gibbs, no hesitation. He saw the line. And as Steve Sims said, went in for a vital try in the closing minutes of this half.
We've seen this kick from Bobby Goulding several times, both at club level and international level. Hoist it for the corner, hoping for a mistake by the defence. The ball bounced loose, Perolini gets it, shrugs off a tackle again, and then finds Scott Gibbs with a little flick pass, and nobody can stop him.
And a tremendous pass here from Perolini.
Yeah, it's good ball. Good kick from Bobby Goulding here. They've been under a lot of pressure, Salford. It's finally told on him. Darren Rogers, he gets up, he tries to take it under pressure from Gibbs. He couldn't take the ball. Perolini, now he's going to flick one out the back here, Perolini. He does that. Gibbs is there on the spot for an easy try.
But not an easy conversion attempt for Bobby Goulding, although he's going to make it look easy. I think he does. So the conversion, the ball over the crossbar. 2 more points for St Helens. And they strike at the vital time in the match. 16 points to 6 for the cup favourites.
That is a crucial thing just before half-time. There's only a minute now before the interval. There's a mistake. The Salford defender couldn't take the ball. And once this pass is flicked out, superb handling again we've seen all game. And a try for Scott Gibbs.
Richard Webster. Edwards. Chapanapa seems fully recovered from his ankle ligament damage of a couple of weeks ago. Young. Cliff Eccles.
And there'll be some vigorous work in this St Helens treatment table at half-time. They're looking at 2 players. Andy Leatham seems to be struggling with an injury to his left leg, and Joey Hayes, who took a knock earlier, hasn't been moving too freely. Anthony Sullivan also seems to have a torn ear as well. So there'll be plenty of work at half-time for St Helens.
Good play from Lee. Oh, Steve Hampson lost the ball there with a force of the tackle. Crunching tackle there from Saints. There is Anthony Sullivan with the cut on his ear.
It was Bobby Goulding again who came in with that tackle as well. He dropped back for the kick. When Steve Hampson decided to run the ball, he was there to make the tackle as well. He's having an excellent game, Bobby.
Joey Hayes making a brave dash down the right wing there, despite a problem with his leg. Chris Joynt. Salford eager to hold out here into injury time in this first half. Paul Newland. Well looked after by Panipper. Sam Panipper again moving across in a sweeper roll, cutting out the centre. Bobby Goulding with a high one. Steve Hampson's underneath it, so is Prescott. He flicks it back for Perolini again. To Boone. Saints have got a chance here. And Andy Norley, a dummy, and goes in under the post. And it was yet another St Helens kick, which costs Salford dearly. Andy Norley took matters into his own hands. He had a couple of men outside him. No problems for the former Waterloo centre. The try under the post.
See Bobby Goulding puts the kick high up in the air again. Plenty of follow chases from St Helens. Steve Hampson gets up. Steve Prescott gets up. Ball goes back to Perolini again on the spot. Simon Booth out to Northey. Northey dummies there. Darren Rogers falls for the dummy and Northey scores under the post.
Yes, it was an excellent kick again from Bobby Goulding. Steve Hampson just couldn't get to this ball. He did launch himself to try and catch it. But whether it was obstructed or just, I think it was just an accident. He couldn't get there. Perolini, as you say, Johnny on the spot again. Passes the ball out and Andy Northey, the step and the dummy, and a clear run to the line.
And Bobby Goulding with the easiest kick to date. Has no problems. So a 6-pointer for the Saints. And a lovely flick back there by Prescott. Wonderful skills, tremendous handling, and then the confidence of the youngster Northey to grab the try under the post. A wonderful 40 minutes, excitement all around, plenty of character, plenty of guts, and just look at those tries. 5 already, and what tries they were. 22-6 for St Helens. And plenty of support on hand on the terraces. Really good crowd here, both Salford and St Helens fans mingling happily. And I think referee David Campbell deserves some applause for this first half, Joe. He's kept the players well apart and he's allowed advantage.
He's refereed the game in a way that's meant for a fast open game. There's been some superb handling by both teams to display, which has also contributed to it. But I think a few people might say that decision to send Paul Forber off for 10 minutes in the first half might be a little bit harsh. But apart from that, he's certainly refereed the game very, very well. And as I said, made for a very open and fast-flowing game.
It's St Helens, Steve, that had the territorial advantage, wasn't it? And that's what counts.
Well, it does count. It helps a lot in this game of rugby league. You need to be in the opposition's territory as much as you can. And we did have a close game up until 5 minutes before half-time, and then St Helens just scored a couple of tries near the end. You'll see, here's the error Salford desperately needed. It's Carl Hammond knocking on from the kickoff. Salford, they need to score a try early in this half.
I'm sure that's exactly what Andy Gregory will have said to his team, that they need to get an early score, they need to dominate from the start and try and force the arrows.
Ball there, and Scott Gibbs picks it up and comes away. So a chance goes begging for Salford. They had the chance there to haul themselves back in the game immediately, but Saints coming away with the possession. Chris Joynt, and I'm sure Chris Joynt and Bobby Goulding will want to settle this ball down here amongst the forwards. Via Mataltia, the substitute, number 15, powerful Western Samoan, and Phil Vivers, another substitute, experienced Aussie. What a game this Western Samoan is having. Goulding to Hammond. Hammond looks for support from Paul Newlove. Newlove racing away to the corner. He's got the confidence to go himself. Oh, and Paul Newlove. A combination of power and pace. The power initially to burst down that left-hand side, and then the confidence in his pace to go all the way. That little girl is delighted as a hero. Roars in there. 26-6 for St Helens. And Newlove's 7th try in the Silk Cut Challenge Cup campaign.
This time a long ball from Bobby Goulding. Gets it out wide, and once Paul Newlove gets on it, he uses that strong right-handed fend and then works his way to the left-hand side of the field. Beats Steve Hampson for pace, and his size and strength takes him over the line. But exactly as in the first half, St Helens score on the first attack of the game. Sorry, the first attack of the second half. The wide ball again. And Paul Newlove. The double drop off, he takes it. Strength, uses his fend, and just races to the try line.
Yes, a gallant attempt at the tackle the last moment from McAvoy, but to no avail. Bobby Goulding with an awkward kick just on that 20-metre line, but not awkward to this international scrum half. He placed it perfectly over the crossbar. And Saints racing into a 28 points to 6 lead.
This try all come from Metaldia. A big run earlier on, an offload, then Apollo Perolini making ground, and then New Love, power, strength, and he scores the try. Full of power, Paul Newlove. He knew he was going to score. He took the fullback and the winger on. He said, I can see the line there, I'm going to score, and his power and strength and pace.
And that's just why he cost £500,000, the world record transfer fee. Via Metaltia coming on for Simon Booth, who had a knock to the face. And again, another costly mistake for Salford. This will allow St Helens to scrum down just barely 30 yards from the Reds line. Another sequence of 6 tackles.
This time it's Cliff Ettles just takes his mind and his eye off the ball, concentrates on the defender rather than keeping possession.
Hammond. Bobby Goulding there again, once again racing at the heart of this defence, sending Norley through. Andy Norley filling in this number 13 role superbly. And this man causing all sorts of problems. Perolini, prop number 8. 10 metres from this Salford line. Chris Joyce powering in there, but good tackling. Good defence there from Paul Forber. Goulding moving it out wide. Helen to Metaltia. Metaltia racing it on his knees. Oh, but he recovered. And via Metaltia roaring in for yet another try. His 15th of the season. St Helens like to bring this big, powerful Western Samoan on from the substitutes bench. They reckon he has a big impact when he comes on, and that certainly was. But he's in trouble there. He's had a knock.
You'll have a look here. Bobby Goulding, he feeds the ball out there. Now, Carl Hammond, a great ball to Metaldia. He's strong, he's powerful. Steve Hampson just got him as he's falling down. I think he clipped him in the head a little bit there, but he's receiving treatment now. But he's just full of power. His ball doesn't go to ground. That's play on. He can continue his momentum from there and scores a try.
And I think it's worth mentioning as Metaltia recovers there that it's not a tackle, Joe, until the ball or his arm, his elbow actually touches the floor.
That's right, it was Scott Martin who got a hand to him, but he just couldn't stop his forward momentum, and it was second effort. Saw Metaltia go over the line. Great second effort and great strength to get that try for St Helens. They're really on top of the form now.
And Bobby Goulding collecting his 5th goal of the match. And St Helens now looking very, very confident and very, very dangerous when they're near that Salford line. Salford really in trouble, Steve.
Yeah, they're in trouble now. You'll see again here. Carl Hammond takes the defence on, goes forward. There's a big hole there. Metaldia goes through it. The Salford defence can't get into the ground, and he scores a try. Phil Beavers has just come on the pitch now, I think, for the young winger that was on there, Joey Hayes.
Salford then looking to get the midfield working, looking to push that ball out wide. Perhaps trouble Saints once or twice down the flanks, but St Helens defence moving in very, very quickly, especially in midfield. Look at the number of players there crowding out the midfield, and that's what's forcing Salford back inside, Joe.
That's right, they had this condensed defence, and unless you can get a gap and change the angle of the run to open it up again, he's going to struggle against that all afternoon, and that's what Salford will find at the moment.
Andy Burgess, one of the heroes against Wigan for Salford, coming on for Paul Forber, and this is what Salford have got to do now. Put that ball out wide. Scott Martin trying to get away. Good run there by the chunky centre. Salford realise they've got to throw caution to the wind there now. A good high kick. Prescott's underneath it. He takes it well. And doesn't he run well? He's got space down this near side. Sam Panapa's there. Andy Gregory there, rather grim-faced. I think he knows just how much Salford need in this next half hour.
It's difficult for a coach. You can be in the game for 30 minutes, it's close, 35 minutes, it's still close. then within about a 3-4 minute spell, St Helens scored 3 tries. I can definitely tell you I know how Andy Gregory feels.
And we can see the difference there in that first half and second half territorial advances. That's why the tries have come.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter what Andy Gregory said to them at half-time. He obviously asked them to force the error and put some pressure on St Helens. They did from the kick-off, and then St Helens have just dominated since then.
Matautia, good pass to Vivers. He's got Gibbs out wide there. Gibbs cuts inside. Of course, no wingman out there. The youngster Joey Hayes gone. Phil Vivers in the veteran stage. Chris Joyce. St Helens piling everything into attack here. Goulding, neat little chip kick. Oh, Hanson's there. On his day, well, yes. Steve Hanson perhaps kicking out a little recklessly there. The St Helens tackler was holding his leg. Hanson wanting to get on with the game, but Mr Campbell telling him to calm it down, settle it down. He took the ball beautifully. Perellini was holding his leg. He was stopping him from playing the ball. And Hampson just losing his temper a little. But and here we see it again.
Well, the referee there, he cautioned Steve Hampson for kicking out to the play of the ball, but if he was going to stick to the way he's been playing the game, surely he would have gone to the sin bin. Not Steve Hampson, but the tackler for holding on to his leg.
Yes. Blakely. Lee. Oh, a good dummy, but he couldn't quite get his pass away. He was well picked up by Matautia. Matautia tracked him. And Matautia may be in trouble. Mr Campbell having a word with Bobby Goulding.
I've noticed a few times, about 5 minutes ago, Bobby Goulding in a tackle come up holding his eye. He's holding his eye again there, his right eye. I'm not sure, maybe he got poked in the eye or something, Bobby, but he is struggling with his eye.
And that indiscretion from Matautia, allowing Salford to mount an attack. Richard Webster. Salford, good handling now across the line. Blakely, Sampanapa coming in at the very moment. Paul Newland going a little high there, but oh, and a mistake again. Andy Burgess couldn't quite take the ball, taking it across at an angle. And so, relief for St Helens. Mr Campbell just having a word with the two packs of forwards, telling them to calm down, settle it down. Suddenly, tempers have risen. Bobby Goulding just keeps feeling to that right eye. He's probably taken a knock. Gibbs. He's run very strongly, Joe, this Welsh lad, Scott Gibbs.
Yeah, his defence is excellent, and as you said, the way he runs the ball up is very, very powerful. He's an ideal wingman centre. He uses the ball well, he draws in defenders and then puts his wingman away, and then in defence you can always guarantee on him to make the tackle.
Oh, and Matautia shrugs off a couple of tacklers there, gets the ball away. Perellini can't hold it. And a chance of head and ball at the scrum for Salford.
A real Hangdon error there from St Helens. Maybe they're getting a little bit too confident now. They've made a few gaps and scored a lot of tries. This time they put the ball down. It's very unlike Perellini.
Using this short side, courtesy of Scott Naylor. And again, Richard Webster driving in. Good tackle there, well met by Bobby Goulding. He had to go up high on the chest to bring a man of Webster's size down, but it's Salford now attacking. Blakely. Good play by the half-backs, Lee and Blakely here in midfield. Up against it, but displaying good rugby. Steve Hampson, this time to Panapa. Saints defence holding. McAvoy. Just a couple of tacklers remaining in this in this sequence. Andy Burgess spots a gap. Well tackled by Matautia on the 5th tackle. Peter Edwards can't quite make it.
You've got to say that you've got to be impressed by St Helens' defence. The new coach has obviously worked on that. They've always been renowned for their skills in passing and scoring tries, but he's really tightened up the defence. He's made it compact and very workmanlike, and it's certainly effective this afternoon.
Bobby Goulding certainly in difficulties with that right eye. He must have some dirt or some grit in there.
You'll have a look here. He's dropped. Oh yeah, Lee's interfered with Vivas as he tried to get over the ball, and St Helens get a penalty.
Well, those drops seem to have worked a cure for Goulding. Newlove. Oh, good sidestep there. And Sean McRae, the Saints Aussie coach, having his first real taste of Challenge Cup rugby. And he must be enjoying it. Allen. A well-intended kick, but couldn't quite take the bounce.
It's kicks that have caused problems for Salford all afternoon. That time St Helens player just couldn't control the ball and regather.
20 years since St Helens last brought the Challenge Cup home to Knowsley Road, and I know that many of these players want to do that just this year. Salford, of course, just cup winners once back in the days of the immortal Gus Risman back in 1938. But a lot to do here, trailing by 34 points to 6. Neatham doing well there to pick up that ball and keep the movement going, but not so for Perolini. St Helens moving the ball a lot at the moment, Joe, perhaps when it should be kept amongst the forwards to really punch home.
Yeah, there's two things happening here now. Mistakes with the handling, basically because Salford are chasing the game and St Helens are just trying things because they're confident. So we've seen a lot of ball go to ground where normally it would be controlled.
Just 2 handling errors in the opening 40 minutes, 7 in this past 15 minutes. But as Joe...
Well, the Salford coach Andy Gregory asked his players to lift the game at half-time, and perhaps they've responded to that, although they'll be remembering his words at half-time when Gregory told the players that 2 mistakes cost them a pair of tries, their fault.
Nathan McAvoy just into his own judgment. Oh, and McAvoy went well down the corner there. That was good play, in particular from the substitute Burgess. That has brought Salford back into this game. And Salford moving the ball well down this right wing. They spotted that Goulding was in some difficulties down here. He was still feeling at that right eye. The gaps were out wide and Salford took advantage of them. Good try from Salford and good thinking in midfield.
Yeah, it was the ball from left to right. Sam Panapa involved in the line. The little pass round the corner. Great ball. Andy Burgess links up. And then you've got Nathan McAvoy, decides to hold the ball himself, throw a little dummy and crash you over. Great try and a good response from Salford.
Yeah, you see, that was a great ball from Sam Panapa there. Andy Burgess, he sums up the situation, draws in Bobby Goulding, offloads to Webster, Webster to McAvoy. Now, McAvoy had the option to pass inside, but he was covered inside. He threw a little dummy, scores himself for a good try.
Yep, certainly a good try from the 19 years old McAvoy, the top try scorer in Division 1 this season. Steve Blakely with the conversion attempts. An unlucky one just to the right of the post there, so just the 4 points from that good effort from the Reds. 34 points to 10.
I'm sure comments from the St Helens bench after that try would have been, let's control the football now. We've had a lot of possession, we've scored a lot of tries.
Well, a smile at last on Andy Gregory's face. He must be delighted with that try. Puts hope in this Salford side. Gibbs again, invariably beats the first would-be tackler. Leatham. But St Helens still well in charge of this match, using the forwards sensibly here now. Kieran Cunningham coming away well out of the acting half-back position, gaining a good 10 metres.
Alan Prescott on the St Helens bench. Alan, this is a spirited performance by Salford. They're not out of it yet.
Well, no, they're doing very well. We're not playing to our game plan. We're losing too much possession on first and second tackle. But basically, I think we can do them just sheer fitness and ability. If we play to our game plan, I don't think they can live with us.
Thanks, Alan.
Paul Parker and Gary Pallister, Manchester United stars, relaxing before their match with Bolton Wanderers tomorrow. Great rugby league fans. Salford need another try, Joe, very quickly, don't they?
They do. They have to respond. They have to get some points on the board to try and stem this possession and territorial advantage that St Helens have had in the second half.
Steve Hampson. Oh, that's a good ball out to Rodgers. He's got some space. Phil Beavers was positioned well back. But who was better positioned there than Bobby Goulding? He judged that kick ahead to perfection. The sweeper roll to perfection there.
The chip over, Bobby Goulding well placed. This is a lot to do with Bobby Goulding's fitness level, obviously. I mean, he's involved in all the attacks. He runs all the attacking ploys for St Helens, and then he's there to cover kicks like that.
And to urge his players on too with the occasional roasting. Paul Newell proving difficult to put down now, but the youngster, number 3 for Salford, Scott Naylor, sticking to the task. Northey. Goulding. Well judged kick. He spotted that McAvoy was just up a little too far, put the kick behind him and send Salford back.
You see Bobby Goulding here, he's slowing the game down now. They're controlling the ball, they're using up their sets of 6 tackles, and good kick into touch just so they can have a little bit of a rest here.
Just less than 20 minutes remaining. Salford trailing by 34 points to 10. But it's surprising what a difference a try and a goal can make. Sam Panaper looking for support out wide, having to turn inside. Once again, the St Helens forwards, Matautia, Perolini coming up very, very quickly. Richard Webster, the substitute there, is running very strongly considering he hasn't played for 6 or 7 weeks.
Yes, but he's running direct without support. As you say, if they are to break down this St Helens defence, then they have to have support runners and they have to find the gaps and use the ball.
Salford then looking for the gaps. Burgess, Eccles to Webster. Put to ground by Saints teenager Leatham. Mark Lee. Significant Salford there, just trying to move that ball out wide. Well, claims for obstruction against Hampson, and I think rightly so. Bobby Goulding remonstrating with Mr. Campbell, but it won't do the Saints' cause any good. A quickly taken kick there by Salford. The free kick now to Salford. Lee to Young. Salford raising their game now. Blakely. He's certainly got plenty of pace as this standoff for Steve Blakely. Saints doing well there to look after him. Burgess. Salford edging nearer to that line. Sam Panaper. A knock on, but well picked up by Panaper again. That'll be another 6 tackles. Lee, Burgess, good strong tackle from Matautia, but a quick play the ball. Lee, he's got Eccles with him, but Matautia's there again. But still, Salford move nearer and nearer to this St Helens line. Paniper, switch back inside to Blakely. Blakely with a little kick. Oh, Savelio, the Western Samoan. Oh, he's just held short of that line. Just coming on the field for David Young. Salford are in! And I said what a difference a try could make. And it's there from Darren Rodgers. So, Salford not out of this cup tie by any means. Former Dewsbury player picked up in the summer by Salford. Adds another 4 points to that total.
You'll have a look here. It's a great, powerful run by Savelio here. He looks like he's held. His momentum stopped there, but he's going to show some determination here. He's going to go forward. Then he has a look at the whitewash here. He can see it, but he just can't get there. Gets up, plays the ball. Now Darren Rodgers is going to get here. He got a dummy half. Now this defence isn't so good there, and straight over. St Helens just have to be careful that they don't let Salford back in this game. There's still 15-odd minutes to go.
Well, sadly for Salford, Steve Blakely couldn't convert that try, but I think there's seen a little tiredness there in the St Helens ranks on that line there, and certainly a good substitution. Savelio, fit and fresh, he took advantage of it, didn't he?
Well, he did. I think on the other hand, St Helens are struggling a little bit, and you'll see on the how the defence there, they just laid off with they are tied. You'll see them here. Darren Rodgers, Latham, he couldn't get up from the play the ball there. Latham, he was too slow. But as we were saying before, they are getting tired, and I don't think they've got any replacements left because the ones that went off St Helens are injured and cannot come back on.
There is one of the replacements, Phil Vivers, in his testimonial season at St Helens. Cunningham putting pressure on Salford down the middle. He's not only quick, but he's strong and he's determined. Perolini always looking to get the pass away is this powerful number 8. Phil Vivers sensibly puts that ball away down that far side. A good kick that, Joe, because it puts pressure back on Salford after that try.
It does. Then they make Salford, if they say, if you want to get some more points off us, you've got to go the full length. And Phil Beaver's very experienced, just pushes the ball into the corner, and the scrum right on the Salford line now.
Well, all the scrums have gone with the head and ball. Good battle there between Hammond and Hampson. Scott Naylor likes to come inside, and when he does, when he gets some space, he's certainly difficult to put down. This is a good spell from Salford, moving this ball well. Paniper, good pass to Savelio. Couldn't just get it away to Darren Rodgers. But St Helens having to defend here. Good play from the Reds. Lee. Nicely timed cheek kick to McAvoy. Now then, McAvoy, he's got Prescott to beat. He cuts inside Prescott, but good recovery there from Sullivan. On the 5th tackle, Richard Webster. He's got Burgess. Nice pass to Burgess. Oh, McAvoy's into the corner. Excellent play between the two substitutes there. From the forwards, and lethal finishing from the wingman McAvoy. The Reds are back. This cup tie is alight again. 34-18 for St Helens, but it's Salford with the upper hand at the moment.
This comes from a great kick from Lee. You see back in here, Burgess. He sees, draws the winger in. Now from McAvoy outside. Salford say if St Helens can score 3 tries in 4 minutes, so can we. Great play here, Andy Burgess sucks in the winger there, Anthony Sullivan, and here, McAvoy sees the try line, scores again.
And that switch inside with Webster and Burgess created the space out wide there, didn't it, Steve, for McAvoy?
Well, what happened was Anthony Sullivan coming off his man, left McAvoy unmarked. He went in for Andy Burgess, and McAvoy had a clear run to the line.
Oh, and unlucky there for Salford. Hit the upright. but the flags are waving here now at the Willows. The music is blurring around this ground. It may be 34 points to 18, but does Andy Gregory sense that Salford are back in with a chance?
Yeah, the switch play here, the ball back on the inside to Burgess. He finds McAvoy on the outside, and it's a clear run to the line. As you say, Ante Sullivan had been sucked in to take out a player, and there's no way back for him to defend.
And it's Salford driving in again. The tails are up. Andy Burgess. Oh, Burgess again, the substitute, racing for the line. Oh, he's just tackled a metre short. Salford then, using this right wing again. Oh, good tackle there by Bobby Goulding. And it had to be. Salford had an overlap down this far side. Less than 12 minutes remaining. Salford piling everything into St Helens here. Saints on the defensive. Blakely, Panapa. Panapa can't get the ball away. He's no need to do so. And Sam Panapa is in. He's in for a try. Oh, delight on the Salford fans' faces. What a cup tie on our hands. Scott Naylor looks at the scoreboard for a check. He's no need to do so. It's 34-22, and Salford are getting ever nearer to St Helens. Wonderful play in midfield here, Joe.
Sam Panapa deserves this try. He's worked hard all afternoon. Relentless in attack. Held the ball up. He didn't put the pass in. Just a little dummy. Spied the gap and crosses the line. And as I say, Sam Panapa's definitely deserved this. He gets the wide pass. Here's Panapa. Looks for his inside runner. Then spots the gap. A little shimmy. Straight through for the try. Great try for Sam Panapa and Salford.
Oh, and again another miss by Steve Blakely, and those missed goals could be vital when we get down to the final hooter. 34 points to there for St Helens.
You see Panapa, a good fends off Matatui. He scores a try. But Steve Blakely, usually a reliable goal kicker. He's really struggled today, and that's costly for Salford.
And it's Salford coming back again. St Helens really do look very, very tired. They have no substitutes left. Salford's Savilio piling in here. Grit and character needed from this St Helens pack. Less than 10 minutes remaining.
Andy Gregory, Salford coach, is maybe just beyond you, but this is a fantastic comeback.
Yeah, it's a good comeback, the lads. We're a fit bunch. The lads have given the ball. I think there's a few, you know, I'm going to have a look. I'd like to sit down with the referee for a few decisions. But lads, the two tries before our time, it was offside on them both, and he shouted it. But full credit to our lads, they're going to get stuck in. We're having a go. We just have to wait to see what happens.
Thanks, Andy.
Thanks a lot.
Salford fans appealing here reckon that there was somewhat of a spear tackle here. We see Scott Naylor. He's certainly picked up, and he's certainly dumped to the floor. It's a good job he put his arm out there, because that could have been very, very serious for the lad. Spear tackles not allowed in rugby league. But Mr. Campbell not adjudging that it was a spear tackle, ruling that Salford lost the ball. And St Helens will be desperate to hold on to possession here. That line has taken a battering. Salford hearts are racing around this ground. Leatham. None played harder than this youngster in the front row for St Helens. Paul Newlove needs a dash or two from him now. Here is one good, strong, powerful run from Newlove. Cunningham to Anthony Sullivan. Sullivan trying to go round McAvoy. What a good battle down this wing here. Goulding on the fit tackle. Looking for Matolchin. Matolchin racing in under the post. Oh, and it was a copybook tackle from Bobby Goulding. He picked his runner out. He could have picked any of 1, 2, 3 runners. He picked out the big Western Samoan. And St Helens have hit back again. 1 minute right at the end of the field under pressure, and here, scoring.
Bobby Goulding's done this so many times today. Runs across the field, holding the ball out in front of him, finds the runner, this time Matautia, and as soon as the gap appears, the pass is delivered. He has ball in both hands, watches the defensive line. When the gap appears, boom, the short pass, Matautia straight through for a great try.
And Goulding with the kick. One player who has had his kicking boots on this afternoon, 5 from 7 attempts. He'll take his time, he'll take that last deep breath, the measured step, and the 2 points. So, St Helens looking tired, looking to be allowing this cup tie possibly to slip away from them, move even further out. 40 points.
You'll have a look here. Bobby Goulding running across field, going forward, mesmerising the Salford defence. Matautia, he comes through there. You can't stop him running that hard, that fast, close to the line, and puts it down next to the uprights.
Less than 7 minutes remaining, but somehow I don't think this cup tie's over. Scott Martin bursting through here. It's all action here at the Willows. Sam Panapa to Burgess, to Lee. That ball like a hot potato in both sides' hands. It's fairly rippling along the line. Panapa, Lee, he's got some space out wide. If Blakely can put that ball there, he does. Sullivan's there, he can't pick up. Oh, well taken by McAvoy. What a good game this youngster's had. Certainly one for the future.
St Helens will be wondering what they have to do to put this this cup tie to bed. They've held the lead for so long, and Salford just keep coming back and back at them.
Burgess, good pass. Martin couldn't get the ball away. Play on, back to on. Phil Vivers for St Helens touched that ball. Webster. And still Salford come back. It's a bit like the boxer that you put him down for 5 or 6 rounds, 1 or 2 near knockouts, but still he punches back, Steve.
They've done themselves proud, Salford, but they've been down for the counter for a long period just before half-time when St Helens scored all them tries, but they've fought on. They've shown a lot of courage here today, and they've done themselves proud.
And they've not finished yet. Hampson, nice switch inside to McAvoy. He's got support from Edwards. But again, well picked up by Hammond. Blakely. Still, these Red Devils move forward. A good chip again. Prescott timing the bounce. Goulding. Calling upon Norley to bring the ball away. Beavers. Scott Gibbs. Goulding. Good shot past there to Chris Joint. Chris Joint should be looking for support here. He's going to go himself. Well, he's got 2 or 3 with him. Oh, is he going to run out of supply? No, he's not. Paul Newlove's there. A magnificent effort that Paul Newlove, I think, says, well, I didn't think you were going to give it me. Not before time, says Paul Newlove. He's 20th this season. The flags are flying high for St Helens. A spectacular effort with Newlove to finish off.
I think Chris Joint on this occasion had too many options. Once he was put through the gap, well into his stride, he had Anthony Sullivan on his left-hand side, Prescott was on his inside, and also Newlove. I thought he'd take the wrong option at one point, holding the ball, but then Paul Newlove just held off that little bit, was able to gather the ball and score the try.
Yeah, Chris Joint, a lot of options here. Probably could have given Anthony Sullivan when he first made the break. Chose to hang on to it. Then offload. There was a little touch of a forward pass, but referee was right on spot. And Newlove goes over for the 13th try of the match.
Bobby Goulding. had plenty of practice this afternoon and had plenty of success with kicks like that, just inside the right upright. A conversion for Bobby Goulding takes the score out there now, 46 points to 22 in St Helens' favour.
You'll have a look here, Chris Joynt, he sums it up. Steve Hansen, he's got 3-4 St Helens players coming at him, Steve. Not much he can do there. Chris Joynt, then Steve takes him. New Love, he's there, he's going to score again, and for a good try.
But Salford racing back, still creative, still inventive, still pushing that ball out wide. A credit to First Division rugby. Scott Martin here now, racing towards the line. He's on his own. Anthony Sullivan does well to cut back. A quick play the ball needed. Salford find one. Blakely across to Burgess. To Lee. Lee hesitates before he puts out wide. Hampson, Webster driving in there. Good run from the Welshman, but good tackling from the Aussie, Phil Beavers. Lee with the pass that's knocked down by Goulding. I don't think Bobby Goulding will be too bothered at this stage now, just the closing minutes.
No, both teams have got to be applauded for this game this afternoon. I mean, 13 tries in a cup tie that ends up at Wembley. The winner goes through to the semi-final. An open play that's got to, as I say, be applauded. They've played fantastic rugby, both sides, and defences have been good as well. But 13 tries just sums up the performance of both teams.
Yes, two of the most free-scoring teams in the Centenary Championship and the First Division. A credit to Rugby League. Savelio looking for the line. Will we have another try in these dying seconds?
I think they're going to look to get the ball out wide. With a kick possibly for McAvoy.
Darren Rogers! Or Andy Burgess, rather. Sampanapa to Lee. Newlove came in well, but I think he got a touch and he was offside. Newlove, anticipating that there was an overlap down this right-hand side, came in very, very quickly, too quickly in fact. So, a tap and 6 more chances with the ball to Salford. Panapa, Savelio. Good ball back to Panapa. Still attacking down that left-hand side. Burgess is there. Oh, and he's in again. Oh, has he dropped the ball? No, he hasn't. I felt Salford may get one more try, and the try has been given. Andy Burgess. And he certainly does deserve that try. He's worked hard since he's coming on the field. He's ran strongly, he's tackled his heart out, and he found the gap.
They've played some great attacking rugby, Salford, moving the ball from one side of the field to the other. Andy Burgess there, reaches out, gets the ball on the line with downward motion. That's a fair try. On the line is a try.
Here we see determination. He's in. And time for a drink. And that statistic tells the tale. Just 1 goal from 6 attempts. Not many easy attempts. And neither was that. So, no conversion from Blakely. 46 points to 26 for the Saints. And there is the hooter, just as we see Salford's final flourish, the try from Burgess. The final whistle. There'll be a lot of tired players out there, but certainly they've given us a feast of rugby. And whether it's an omen or not, but the last time Saints won the cup here at the Willows 20 years ago, they had a win, and they've got a win today. Is that an omen? Tremendous effort from both sides.